Did you know that a whopping 70% of lottery winners go completely bankrupt after just a few years? I mean, it sounds totally impossible, right? They win millions of dollars and yet they lose it all. Well, why does that happen? It's because having a giant mountain of cash absolutely does not equal having financial education. You can literally have all the money in the world, but if you don't actually know the rules of how money works, you're going to make bad decisions and it's all going straight down the drain.
So let's just dive right into this explainer. We're going to learn the 4 essential rules of the money game that will completely shift you from financial ignorance to true financial confidence. Because make no mistake about it, money is exactly that. It's a game. And the world is practically littered with money, but only the people who understand the rules have the actual skills to acquire it. So today, we're going to master those basics so you can elevate your financial life to a level you've probably never even seen before.
All right, here is our agenda for today. We're going to explore the financial confidence gap, uncover exactly why we stay ignorant, and then we'll break down the 4 rules: investing with knowledge, the debt weapon, thinking rich, and developing high-income skills. Let's get into it. Okay, Section 1, the financial confidence gap. What are you actually aiming for? When we talk about escaping a job we hate or not wanting to depend on our family for cash anymore, we usually throw around buzzwords without really understanding what they actually mean. Now, there's a really clear line drawn between 2 very different concepts here. You see, most people chase this idea of financial freedom, but freedom is just a static pile of money. It's based entirely on the amount of cash you currently have sitting in the bank. What you actually need is financial confidence. Confidence is an active state. It's based on your internal acumen, your skills, and your unwavering certainty that you can generate money no matter what happens. If you lose all your cash, a financially confident person, they just build it right back. To really wrap our heads around why this matters, let's think about a guy named Peter. Peter just got his monthly post-tax paycheck of, let's say, $1,700. Now, instead of using that money to invest or save, he blows it. He spends it on a couple of weekend barbecues with friends and a whole bunch of useless liabilities. So we really have to ask ourselves, are you a Peter? Do we share those exact same destructive habits? Because literally anyone can become rich if they change their bad habits and develop a wealthy mindset, but you've got to stop acting like Peter first. Moving on to Section 2, why we stay ignorant, the invisible traps keeping you broke. We live in this incredible era where financial information is essentially free, right? A quick Google search can teach you almost anything. Yet despite having all this knowledge literally right at our fingertips, over 90% of the population remains entirely financially ignorant. So why is that? Well, it essentially boils down to 2 main culprits. First up, conventional wisdom. Most people around us just operate with a deeply ingrained scarcity mindset. They genuinely believe there's just no money out there to be had. And second, our comfort zones and a lack of self-esteem. You know, there's a saying among the wealthy that you actually have to believe you deserve to be rich. A lot of people are actually terrified of success because achieving it means you have to take real risks and step way outside of what feels safe. And man, this quote just brilliantly illustrates the exact lie our parents and society feed us. Money doesn't grow on trees, and money is the root of all evil. How many times did you hear that growing up? This mindset actively stops us in our tracks. It keeps us from taking the steps needed to build a better life. Look, if you want to learn how to ski, you wouldn't take lessons from someone who's never set foot on a mountain, right? The exact same goes for money. You have got to stop listening to conventional wisdom from people who aren't financially confident themselves. That brings us to Section 3, Rule 1, invest with knowledge. Don't invest in what you don't understand. Here's the hard truth, you guys. You will never get rich long-term working for someone else. You have to multiply your money through investing. But the golden rule here is never, ever invest in what you do not fully understand. Before you even look at real estate or the stock market, the absolute most important investment you can possibly make is in yourself. Your brain is your ultimate money-making machine. Financial education, it is not optional. If you don't stay updated on the information that actually matters in your industry or your niche, it's going to eat you alive out there. You absolutely must continuously feed your mind. Okay, so once you've invested in your own knowledge, you might buy or create a business. And you really have to realize that a business is exactly like a car. Think about it. To make a car run, you've got to put gas in it, right? Well, to make a business grow, you must constantly feed it capital. That means taking money and investing it right back into your business for marketing, for research, or for developing new products so the whole thing can keep expanding. Let's shift gears to real estate and see how this builds. Real estate is, at its core, a pretty simple concept. Buy low, sell high. But executing it, that involves a really rigorous step-by-step process. You start by finding a mistreated structure that has good potential. Maybe it's a regular home, or eventually even a commercial center. You fix it up, you wait for the market to rise, and boom, you sell it for a profit. It sounds simple in theory, but it requires deep, specialized knowledge to actually pull it off successfully. Finally, we have the stock market. Now, investing in stocks basically means you are literally buying the right to a slice of a company's profits, equal to whatever you put in. But listen closely to this part. The market is inherently risky. It is packed with scammers and just totally misleading information. People lose absolute fortunes here. So you have got to do heavy research or consult a professional who actually has skin in the game before you ever put your hard-earned money down. Moving right along to Section 4, Rule 2, the debt weapon. Debt is a powerful but deadly weapon. Now, this one confronts a major societal taboo. We are taught from day one to fear debt, but the reality? Debt is not inherently evil. In fact, the people who actually understand how to use it will completely thrive, while those who are terrified of it are going to miss out on some massive opportunities.
So the crucial point here is understanding this dichotomy between good debt and bad debt. Bad debt is basically an anchor. It completely destroys your financial life. A perfect example? Handing massive student loans to 18-year-olds who are making these huge financial decisions without really understanding the long-term consequences. Good debt, on the other hand, is a calculated tool used specifically to get rich. It's like taking out a loan to start a business, but with absolute certainty and a strict, locked-in plan to pay it off. That frees you up to expand your wealth.
Okay, Section 5, Rule 3. Think rich. See yourself rich and act out the rule. This rule is entirely psychological. You have to actually see yourself as rich first. You're essentially playing the role of a wealthy person so you can build that confident, charismatic self-image that is required to perform under pressure and take calculated risks. It's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Let's be totally honest here. Living strictly below your means, that's a defensive strategy invented by financial gurus. Sure, it's solid wisdom to not live wildly beyond what you can afford. Absolutely. But depriving yourself of a daily Starbucks coffee is literally not going to magically make you a millionaire. Instead of just pinching pennies here and there, you need to shift your mindset to playing offense. Focus on confidently acquiring new skills that will generate the income required to support the lifestyle you actually want to live.
And that brings us to Section 6, Rule 4. Develop high-income skills, the ultimate engine for acquiring assets. This right here is the absolute foundation for the entire money game. It's the engine for acquiring the very things that build true, lasting wealth. But before you do anything else, you absolutely must drill this basic definition into your brain forever. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. It really is that simple. Your number one goal in the money game is to acquire as many assets as humanly possible while minimizing those liabilities.
So how exactly do you get the resources to acquire those assets? You do it by building high-income skills. These are skills that are in incredibly high demand because they bring massive, undeniable value to the marketplace, and as a result, they make you a lot of money. The true beauty of a high-income skill is that it allows you to basically generate income out of thin air, simply by delivering real results to the market. It's a total game changer.
Well, you have the playbook now. You know the difference between financial freedom and financial confidence. You know you've got to invest in your own mind, use good debt as a weapon, think rich, and build those assets. So as we wrap up this explainer, and you begin to truly master the rules of the money game, I want to leave you with one serious question to think about. What high-income skill will you develop first? Figure out what best fits your abilities, step outside that comfort zone, and start building your financial confidence today.